Hello traders, and welcome to this week's market outlook from Exness. To be looking at a potential idea for a trade over the next few days, narratives that are driving the possible movement, and what traders who were to take would need to be aware of. My name is Michael Stark, Financial Content Manager at Exness. Week's idea. We're going to be looking back at the performance of last week's idea. Last week, the idea was a possible sell for a euro-dollar from slightly below resistance around 110. With a target in the area of 107. Movement completing around the end of last week after a stronger than expected NFP. For this week's idea, the potential trade could be a buy for American light oil, symbol US oil. The price of oil has reached a potential support around the area of $70 and should continue to bounce from this area. It's a little bit difficult to figure out where the potential target might be, but it should be somewhere within the area of around $75 because that's a fairly round number. And technical reference that was quite familiar around last month. One primary narratives behind that is the relatively lower likelihood that the Fed is going to cut rates quite as soon as had been expected in the recent past. We're also looking at the increasing net positions of commercial traders of crude oil from the commitment of traders. That's usually a fairly reliable medium to long-term signal that the price might go up. Overall, that comes in the context of sentiment on the economy being generally somewhat more positive. GDP data in the USA, as well as last week's employment data, been relatively strong, considering the circumstances of recession having been widely expected. Now, the main factors that traders need to be aware if they were taking the potential position to buy crude oil: inflation and the meeting of the Federal Open Market Committee. Inflation very slightly to 3.1%. However, if it's higher, then we might see some negativity on crude oil. The idea possibly could be less valid, and it's also very important to monitor the Fed press conference. It seems to be a foregone conclusion that stay on hold, but very important to see whether the FOMC is going to hint at when it might start cutting rates, or it's going to remain adamant that rates aren't coming down anytime. Potential idea for a trade this week is a buy for crude oil with a target approximately around $75 or maybe slightly lower for American light oil. Some of the main narratives driving that are the general expectation that the Fed is going to be somewhat less dovish and possibly hold rates higher for longer. General positivity on the economy. And there's also the increasing net positions of large commercial traders. This week, the main factors that traders need to be aware of are American inflation and the meeting of the FOMC. Please remember, this is just an idea for a trade. It's not a guarantee of success. You always need to do your own research and manage risk.